This is Coseley, an industrial area close to Wolverhampton city centre. There have been considerable changes over the years. Large housing estates have replaced what were once fields. The closure of big engineering companies and steelworks have resulted in high unemployment in the area. The local school, Manor Primary, has also seen changes. In 2005, the school was top of the value-added SATS league tables. So what's the secret of Manor Primary's success? What's made them top bananas? Anita Cliff has been head teacher here for 7 years.
A typical day at Manor Primary School now is very varied. I try to ensure I teach so that I get a good overview of where children are at in a range of subjects. I make sure I catch up with all groups of people, the office staff and teaching assistants and teachers, caretakers and cleaners, so that across the day you've had contact with everybody. Hiya, Julie. Okay.
Anita catches up with Julie Mills, the deputy head teacher, to discuss a Year 6 science lesson they'll be teaching together.
Oh, brilliant.
Looking back, what was the school like when she first arrived?
When I first arrived, the school building was very, very bleak. No colour. Classrooms were very poorly resourced. For example, that used to be a library area, and it's a typical shot of a classroom. The children were positive and generally hard-working. There were lots of behaviour issues. 44% of our children got level 4 in English, Maths and Science, which is a very, very low base. They were uninspired really, and I think they were very demotivated. The learning environment was poor. Staff morale was very low, so what was being delivered wasn't the best. I came here from a very vibrant inner city school in Birmingham, and when I looked round, I thought that there's so much that could be done here. Renovating the school building was a priority because this is where our children learn, this is what they come to every day, so we started with the classrooms. We chose yellow. We wanted something very bright that would match a sunny day. We then focused in on children's display and valued the outcomes of their learning and made the school display look vibrant and stimulating.
ICT in the school was non-existent. Anita has made a huge investment by placing computers and interactive whiteboards in every classroom. She's also introduced multimedia equipment, which children use as an integral part of their learning.
Now we are finding that we have 100% of our children achieve level 5 ICT by the end of the year, and we have for the past 3 years.
Which one's that, the timber framed one?
Yes.
Staff no longer plan in isolation. They work as teams within their key stage, sharing expertise and ideas.
Yeah.
Training in leadership and key skills was also provided for every member of staff.
Inevitably, there was some opposition, and what I would do is pick those people off and work with them individually and then build groups up and include them and take on board their viewpoints and talk them through why we need to move and where we're going. Some of the biggest barriers for staff was the fast introduction of ICT, the introduction of whiteboards. They quite quickly, with one-to-one support, picked up key skills, and I think things they've laughed about were when children would stand up and say, "Miss, actually this is what you've got to do," when things crashed.
Right, our first question. How long would a runner take to go 50 metres? I want you to not just write the answer on your board, but how you worked it out as well.
There has been a really big focus here on the development of teaching and learning styles. And as children move from class to class, they find that in every class, so it's consistent. Learning is very visual, it's very tactile, it's very exciting, and it's very hands-on.
Anita is certainly a hands-on head, observing and taking part in many lessons.
How many in 200 metres? 1 hour. 1 hour to do 200 metres. How many hours for 400 metres?
200 metres.
We focused on core. We focused on English, Maths and Science. We maximised the potential of the policy that we put in place, and we did that through ensuring staff had appropriate support. We were not expecting them to deliver a unit of work that sounded quite exciting on paper, but actually there were no resources to put it in place. They had classroom support in the form of teaching assistants to target children so that they felt as a teacher supported.
I think because we're asked to participate in everything really, we come to training days, we attend all school meetings. I think because you're involved with everything, then obviously you get more confident in your role.
6. Come on the top. Brilliant. Okay, stand back. Excellent.
The air above the egg has got more strength because inside the bottle the air's got burnt out because fire needs air to burn.
Let's see if we can apply the things that we have learnt to a SAT-style question.
We don't cram for SATs. We make sure our curriculum is broad and balanced, exciting and enriching in every year group.
Right, these scales actually measure newtons, so what are they measuring?
It measures the force.
It does, you're absolutely right. You will see that there are a series of little pencils where there are questions that I want you to have a go at. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes and I'd like you to do it as a pair.
We gradually introduce SATs into Year 6. When teachers deliver learning, they'll weave a SATs question in so children know what they look like, but it's always in context, it's always about something they have just learnt, so children can see it for what it is. And then just a few weeks before SATs, we would do an odd SATs paper so children could see one in context and get used to the time they have so that there's no stress and pressure about SATs. We have really tapped into children's enthusiasm and excitement about learning, and as a result we have accelerated progress.
You can tell by the SAT results. You need to say no more. The SAT results say it all.
I have a lot of parents who are always asking, they want all their children moved into this school now.
The teachers here have become one big family. And because of that, the school has gone from this to this. I can have nothing but, I just feel so enthusiastic about the school and what it's done for my grandchildren.
A very special welcome to all our parents and carers and family members of Miss Cause's class. We really appreciate you taking the time to make Assembly special for this class. The role of parents is crucial. We work in partnership. We send homework home and instructions on how parents can support them. We offer workshops on our curriculum. We offer parent training sessions. They feel very secure that their children are making progress. The improvement of children's behaviour for us obviously was a big issue, and we tackled it in lots of different ways. To put in place a behaviour policy was crucial. We involved all staff, we involved our parents, our children and the community. Because everybody was involved, everybody believed in it and everybody put it in place.
The school's most recent project has been the redevelopment of the playground, and as with everything else at Manor Primary, Anita has worked in close partnership with the governing body. But the success of this project is because, most unusually, the children were asked to design this area for themselves.
As you can see, they're really loving it. Mary, how's the games going at dinner time?
Fine, they're all interacting well. They love their quiet corner over there where they can sit and read their books.
Yeah, and the pirate ship?
Pirate ship, beautiful. But then they've helped design it, haven't they?
Yeah.
So everything they've helped design, they love.
We did questionnaires with all of our children, we interviewed children, we set up a school council so that there was ownership at every level.
We went into assembly, we asked all these children to draw pictures of what they wanted in this playground. These are the ones that came out on the papers.
We have been having feedback of the children at school council saying how much they like the play equipment and how much they love to play on.
The school council raised money by doing Christmas fairs, summer fairs, and we did a sponsored walk all around the school.
Obviously, we've put in place a range of changes, and that comes with a significant cost. We do masses of fundraising ourselves. We set up a Friends of Manor group and again tapped into parents. We have developed an excellent relationship with the local education authority, and they have recognised that we've moved standards of achievement very fast here, and we have created a very special place. We are a school they use for other teachers to come into and have a look at, and we do support them in the development of work in other schools, and as a result that brings funding for us. Literally anything we can tap into, we'll tap into. We'll even draw funds 3 years ahead, and we've just recently drawn the next 3 years funding down of devolved capital as part of the funding for our dance, drama and music studio. I do a lot of teaching, and so does Julie, our deputy. So we don't have a non-teaching deputy full-time. There's a cost saving there. We have introduced a broad range of after-school clubs. It's one way in which we can develop children's skills, their talents. There are now 17 that run in any 1 week.
Mrs Mills, at the start of your career, why did you choose to work at this school?
Well, I think it probably was a case of Manor chose me and I chose Manor.
Do you still have any long-term ambitions? What are they?
Well, I think long-term it's about us continuing to make our school as successful as it possibly can be.
They're run by staff, they're run by teaching assistants and teachers, and they're run by people from our community. Yeah! We've linked up with an ex-England Olympic champion that delivers the karate for us.
In, punch, snap it back. Don't leave it hanging. Ready? Etch! Yeah! Knee!
Yeah!
Out in front. I remember a lot of them when they came, they were like this, and can you hear me? And yes, and the fingernails were touching. And now it's this, you know, when we speak to each other like this. And I just find that really great for my students.
The turnaround for Manor Primary has taken 7 years to achieve. So what advice would Anita give to other schools in her position?
Focus on the children and the people that are working in the school. Tap into their strengths, get them on board, make them feel included, build an ethos together, work on the learning environment, make it exciting for the children, involve the children in the development, involve the parents, involve the governors and anybody else that you can tap into, because they will really inject energy.
And would she have done it any differently?
Perhaps at the start, I pushed people very, very hard because we'd got such a long way to go and I was probably very impatient.
Brilliant, okay.
High points for us were our first inspection. We had a very short time scale in which to put lots and lots of change in place, and staff really had to work hard. And they put so much into making the school successful. Standards were not that high, but they were on the up, and the team really recognised the quite exciting things that were happening.
Anita's happy, but what do the staff think of the school?
Rewarding, challenging and really exciting.
Inspirational. Vibrant. Energetic.
It's happy, it's stimulating and it's fun.